And those winds, which probably peak in the northwest of Scotland during Tuesday evening. That's why we've got an amber warning in place here. Damaging gusts of wind 70, 80, perhaps 90 miles an hour, likely to cause some disruption. The potential for power issues, strong winds across much of northern Britain through Tuesday evening as well. For the full details of all of those weather warnings, visit the Met Office website.
Warm and cosy, with a chance of zero visibility. Boxed Boilers sponsors the weather on GB News.
Absolutely remarkable story on the front of tomorrow's Daily Mail. Ex-BBC stars are backing Hugh Edwards as he plots a comeback. I mean, did you ever think you'd read that headline? Seriously. So we're going to be talking about the exact nature of what Hugh Edwards is planning and naming who is actually backing him as well. So we'll talk about all of that. Apparently illegal migrants are being used to smuggle heroin into Britain as well, and a teacher has been banned for telling a Muslim pupil that this is a Christian country, all that and more.
This is your chance to become our biggest cash prize winner to date. £85,000 in totally tax-free cash could be making its way from our bank account to yours. It would be like having over £7,000 per month extra to play with each month for a whole year. That could be you, safe in the knowledge that 2026 is on us. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message, or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
So he can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK.
We're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News.
The People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
5 hosts, 5 opinions, 5 fearless debates, 5 unfiltered takes on the day's news.
5 reasons not to be anywhere else on Saturday night.
This is the Saturday 5. You got me good there. Britain's biggest Saturday night TV show.
It's not a bad brand.
Yeah. Uncensored.
Very, very racy tonight.
On the unpredictable.
What does she say? Can you translate it for us?
And always entertaining.
And how can a country go from being led by William Wallace Saturday nights from 6 p.m. only on GB News, the People's Channel.
Britain's news channel.
You're going to want to stay tuned, trust me.
Welcome along to Patrick Christys Tonight, late edition, and breaking right now.
We need to remain vigilant to the ever-present threat that is there from Putin and from Russia.
Well, it's leading on The Independent. Britain is under attack from Putin's cyber army. Plus,
he's now towards Leicester Square. It's high risk through pedestrians towards...
Well, phone thefts, especially in the capital, are absolutely off the scale, apparently. But will the police's new e-bikes help crack down on the crisis? And...
Free speech in this country has been for a very long time. We're very, very proud of it. We will protect it forever.
I'll be telling you how a teacher has been banned after telling a Muslim child that Britain is a Christian country. It's the latest scandal in Britain's free speech dystopia. Plus, workers will apparently soon be entitled to a week off work to mourn the death of a distant family member after proposals being considered by ministers. Will Britain ever get back to work? And this one is what I think we'll be leading on. I'll be telling you why Hugh Edwards is being backed for a comeback. The headline on the Mail is that ex-BBC stars are backing Hugh Edwards and he could be genuinely making a comeback. Surely not. Anyway, all of that and more. Joining us this evening, we've got broadcasting royalty Christo Fufas, Labour councillor Sebastian Salek and GB News contributor and comedian Leo Kearse. But, first of all, let's get those news headlines with Aaron Armstrong.
Thank you, Patrick. Very good evening to you. It's 11 here in the GB newsroom. European leaders say they've made progress on a deal to unlock frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. It comes after Sir Keir Starmer held talks with President Zelensky, along with his French and German counterparts at Downing Street to discuss the latest US peace proposals. Critics say Donald Trump's plan, which calls for Ukraine to make territorial concessions to Russia, closely resembles the Kremlin's demands. Mr Zelensky has now travelled to Brussels to meet NATO and EU officials. Downing Street says Europe must increase the pressure on Russia to bring an end to the barbaric war. Two teenage Afghan asylum seekers who abducted and raped a 15-year-old girl have been given custodial sentences. Jan Jahanzeb was given 10 years and 8 months, with Israr Niazal on the right of your screen sentenced to 9 years and 10 months for the attack which took place in Leamington Spa in May. The pair, who've been ordered to register as sex offenders for life, could now face deportation, with their victim saying the attack changed her as a person. The judge lifted reporting restrictions protecting the migrants' identities, who she said had betrayed those who come to Britain seeking sanctuary. A nurse who objected to sharing a female changing room with a transgender doctor has won part of her employment tribunal. Sandy Peggy was suspended from her job in Kirkcaldy after complaining about Dr Beth Upton, a biological male who identifies as a woman. She was placed on special leave after the doctor made allegations against her. The tribunal upheld Miss Peggy's claim for harassment against NHS Fife, but other allegations of discrimination and victimisation were dismissed. 2 more people have been arrested following a pepper spray incident at Heathrow Airport. It took place on Sunday morning when a woman was robbed of her suitcase in a multi-storey car park at Terminal 3. A 24-year-old man has been arrested on suspicion of robbery and assault. A 23-year-old woman arrested on suspicion of conspiracy to commit robbery. Yesterday, a 31-year-old man was arrested. He's been released as police continue their investigations. Around 90,000 people in Japan have been told to evacuate after a large earthquake off its northeastern coast triggered a tsunami warning. The country's meteorological agency warned the 7.6 magnitude quake could lead to waves of up to 10 feet high. That has since been downgraded, although the country has suffered 3 subsequent earthquakes. Japan's Prime Minister, Sanae Takaichi, says a response team's been established to assess the damage and assist evacuation efforts. 13 people have been hurt, 1 has sustained serious injuries. And the Met Office has issued danger to life weather warnings for rain and wind as Storm Bram hits the UK. Amber warnings have been issued for parts of Scotland, Wales and the southwest of England from midnight through till Wednesday morning. Up to 100 millimetres of rain is expected in some areas, with risks of flooding, travel disruption, power cuts and large coastal waves. And you're fully up to date here on GB News. Now it is over to Patrick.
Welcome along to Patrick Christys Tonight's Late Edition. Let's get you the first look at Tuesday's newspaper front pages. Firstly, the Daily Mail. Well, the main story is the head of the Navy's broadside reaves over defence cash. What they are saying is that basically we have ceded or are ceding the North Atlantic to Putin. But you might notice a story on the side there, which is a glossy portrait of disgraced former BBC presenter Hugh Edwards, of course, a paedophile, with the headline, ex-BBC stars backing Hugh Edwards as he plots a comeback. I'll get more detail on that for you in just a second. But let's also go to the Telegraph. Boat migrants smuggle in heroin is one of their stories. It's a very packed Daily Telegraph front page, this, because they've also got a picture story of Queen Camilla on the set of The Rivals, which is a Jilly Cooper novel/TV series, isn't it? She was a great friend, of course, of her. But they've also got take a week off if your distant cousin dies. And supposedly there's new rules coming in under the employment rights where, yeah, you can take a bit of time off if someone that maybe not actually be that close to you does die. They've also got a teacher who's been banned for telling a Muslim pupil that we are still a Christian country. The Independent, Britain under attack from Putin's cyber army. This is the Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper, warning, just what it says on the tin, that basically these attacks by Putin have apparently ramped up on our critical infrastructure. The Times, deal to unlock 100 billion quid for Ukraine within days. I mean, look, these stories are obviously related, aren't they, really? Which is that apparently we are close to being able to access, I believe it's seized assets from wealthy Russian individuals to put that towards, obviously, Ukraine defending itself. And shock horror, Putin is responding by, trying to attack us, really. But The Express, leave no stone unturned for the grooming gangs probe. This is based on Kemi Badenoch earlier today, the leader of the Conservative Party, saying that nothing has been done by Labour when it comes to the grooming gangs inquiry so far. The Guardian, a critical moment. European leaders rally behind Ukraine. The Mirror, Southport families' courage. Together we will pull light out of the darkness. The Sun, England star in headbutt arrest. So they're saying that Ivan Toney has been held, apparently, after a 1 a.m. club brawl. But like I said before, that does have the whiff of an active case about it, so I think we will park that there. The I paper, pension pot hit will delay UK retirement age, experts warn. So, yeah, we'll get you the detail on that because apparently, this could be forcing people to wait longer and longer for retirement. Exactly how long, it remains to be seen. But I do think there is a general feeling amongst people who are currently in their 30s that they may well just never retire. So there's that, isn't there? Yes, let's go straight in with the Daily Mail's front page, if that's OK. So they are basically going off on the fact that Hugh Edwards, or not fact, sorry, the speculation that Hugh Edwards is mounting some kind of comeback, and apparently his online pals on Facebook, which include former BBC colleague Mike Longley, former presenter and ex-head of music for BBC Wales. Longley made it clear that he continues to back Edwards and criticise the BBC for how they treated the disgraced star. The also former BBC Radio Wales broadcaster Wyn Thomas is another Facebook friend commenting on Edwards' profile that he remarked, "Looking good, Hugh." Oh. Edwards posted a black and white professional portrait online while simultaneously removing his family home from estate agents' websites. Under the photo of that portrait, which is on your screen on the front of the Daily Mail's front page there, apparently Hugh Edwards then liked every single comment beneath, including some positive ones, which read, "Miss your news reading, mate, and good luck for the future, Hugh." So, that has led to the speculation that he might be plotting some kind of comeback. Christo, what do you make of this?
Hugh Edwards making some sort of comeback. Is it hosting Children in Need? Oh. Because, of course, you'll remember as well, BBC never aware of any of this stuff, are they? But Jimmy Savile never went near Children in Need the entire time that it ran as one of the BBC's biggest stars. But they never knew anything that was going on. It is tasteless, because why would you have these professional shots taken unless it was for some sort of publicity? It is clearly a publicity shot. I mean, looking at it, it is clearly for some sort of work purpose. What else could it be? I mean, why else would he post that? Why else would he go to someone? Who was the person that took the portrait? Imagine getting that call. Imagine being that photography studio where they say, right, well, you've got this great booking, this person. I want some headshots done. Well, Who is it? Hugh Edwards.
Yeah, also he kind of looks sinister in the photo. They didn't exactly, hide any sort of any dark side of him. I don't know. The thing is, if you want to make a comeback as a paedophile,
come back as a paedophile, like you must taking a break.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's basically where we are at the moment. You better have made some amazing rock music in the 60s and 70s, and Hugh Edwards didn't do any of that. He just, sat and read the news. Like, no offence to any of us, but it's not the same as the output of British musicians in the 60s. No, I think maybe is he trying to ride the nativist wave and come back with a message of we're importing so many paedophiles now. He's going to be British kids for British paedophiles.
He's got look in the detail in the Mail here. It says that last month Edwards posted what appears to be that new professional headshot. Right, that's that black and white. They describe it as a moody image. Right. The Daily Mail can also reveal that Hugh Edwards has apparently reactivated his Instagram account with 94,000 followers, which they point out was once the place that he shared behind-the-scenes pictures of his day-to-day broadcasting and through which he messaged younger and junior male colleagues who were hoping to build careers. So apparently he's now reactivated this account.
So a convicted paedophile is allowed back onto Instagram that enabled his crimes. I mean, that seems to be... Surely that's against Instagram's terms of service. They don't allow convicted paedophiles on their platform, do they? I mean, I don't know. I thought the whole...
I'm on his Instagram now.
The whole way, watch, he doesn't message you. You're younger than him. But the whole way Hugh Edwards was treated, he was bailed to return home. He said he lost the phone. Who knows what other evidence they could have found? Who knows what they could have found? What he was allowed to, and somebody in that situation could destroy other evidence. I don't know why he was bailed to return home like that. And he lost the phone, like the lassie in the Rooney scandal who dropped it over the side of the boat. I don't believe that for a second. So the whole way the establishment has treated him with kid gloves, which he probably enjoyed because they're kid gloves.
Well, there you go. It's worth just reminding ourselves what he was actually found guilty of. Okay, so he admitted that he possessed abhorrent images of children. 13 of the illegal images were in the category A, which is the most serious, including one of a child as young as 7, apparently. And the article here goes on to say that he retains the backing of some loyal supporters, and they include some former BBC staffers.
Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris.
17 months off his sentencing. OK, Sebastian, very bizarre story.
Really is, isn't it? I mean, so much speculation there. We should be clear, we don't know what on earth is going on. What strikes me as odd is the timing of all of this. The court case only wrapped up in September last year. You would think, even after the awful things he's done, if you are going to make some attempt at a public comeback, you'd wait a little bit longer before you try to rehabilitate your image. It's baffling. I'd be really intrigued to see what he's up to.
It's so bizarre. Do you know, I'm annoyed with him for a number of reasons, mainly because he's a paedophile, but also you can never, ever watch the Queen, the announcement from the BBC or state broadcaster of the Queen Elizabeth II having died because he made it. Yeah. That is it forever now. But that is always going to be completely tainted.
Like Top of the Pops 2.
Yes.
There's a lot of these.
But at least you've got a selection.
Can I just say what some people are commenting underneath this? This is again according to the Mail. One friend remarked, "Looking good, Hugh. Best memories, kids." Right, and then you've got another one told him to quote
from an adult.
To quote, "Hurry back." Yeah. The one said that his absence from public life was a huge loss. Do they know? Like, do they know what he did? I just find this because again, this is all public, I think, isn't it? It's on Facebook. Like people realise that other people can see that they do. Apparently, one friend branded this new picture of him, quotes, "so precious." I just find it... Isn't this all really weird?
Does anybody else feel that there's been a sort of slide, a sort of demoralisation of Western society and, things like this are more acceptable. I feel like that if it was 20 years ago, there'd be no question of a comeback. There wouldn't be these moody shots looking like, you know, Gary Barlow's serious second album. There wouldn't be anything like that. He would just have to go away and live in the woods and hope nobody found out where he lived.
Poor Gary Barlow. Why bring him into
He
this?
looks like Gary
What's
Barlow
he
in this.
done
He's
wrong?
trying to do the Gary Barlow like squint in the
Can I just say
distance.
that washed over me initially there. I will put my foot down on this and say Gary Barlow has got nothing to do with this story.
Oh,
so,
no, but he looks like Gary Barlow. He's trying to do that moody sort of look.
I see, but of course Gary Barlow has got nothing to do with anything to do with Hugh Edwards or indeed any of the other.
Unless
back for good.
Unless Hugh Edwards is coming back as a Gary Barlow tribute act.
Right, OK, there we go.
An impersonator.
But yeah, I mean, look, anyway, I just think it's been better. I think realistically, a comeback is probably off the cards.
Yeah. Also, what as? That's the thing. He's not
Yeah.
going to be reading the news, is he?
No.
So what is he doing? What could it possibly... I don't know, best guesses. I'll open it to the floor.
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I could think of, but again, I don't think anyone would actually commission this, so I think is that the question, would be some kind of series on, or whatever, or a show on, you know, this was my problem, but the problem being, obviously, in case of Hugh Edwards, paedophilia. You know, I've undergone some kind of... I'm not saying this is happening, by the way. I'm just saying, we're trying to guess, aren't we? What could this possible comeback be? It would have to be something like that.
It will be a BBC documentary on how the empire is to blame for paedophilia and how colonialism was the reason that this happened. And then that will be a 6-part series, and by the end of it, we will all be blaming the monarchy, of which we will need a referendum to get rid of them because of this.
Well, there we go. Introduce the news about it.
OK. The other aspect of this as well is that he appears to have taken his house off the market. His house was valued initially at something like £4.5 million.
4.75 million. And then it went down by 250, then 500, then 750.
Yeah. So look, so the speculation, again, this would just be speculation, but the speculation is there that if he's taken the house off the market and it's not sold, that he must be of the view that he's about to get some more income in, which is so people are drawing different conclusions here. Anyway, that's the Hugh Edwards.
He has also got, by the way, just very quickly, he's got the pension as well. Remember, that's our money. We've paid for those headshots, by the way. I mean, we could all demand a copy. I
don't pay my licence.
Oh,
well, there you go.
That's a good reason not to, Dad.
Anyway, right. Also, so just say that this is obviously the Daily Mail's reporting. The BBC aren't here to defend themselves. Obviously, we can't be 100% sure the former BBC colleagues named in that Daily Mail piece, which they have splashed with, by the way, do want to return for Hugh Edwards or in any way condone his actions or anything like that at all. We have simply just read out what is in the Daily Mail's front page article for you there. So let's park Hugh Edwards there. It's made me feel quite grubby, but I think it's a story nonetheless. They've splashed on it, so there you go. Yeah, I mean, there's loads more going on. Should we just quickly, before we hit the break, the Daily Telegraph, their lead story is that boat migrants are smuggling in heroin. So apparently gangs are offering free crossings to asylum seekers if they carry drugs across the Channel. Migrants across the English Channel in small boats are bringing heroin into Britain. Leo?
Yeah, I mean, can it get any worse? Can it get any worse? They're bringing heroin in their bums. And to be honest, if I was buying heroin, I'd probably want some that hadn't been in a boat person's bum.
I don't know. I don't think you're that fussy if you're a heroin addict. But
this is the man with experience. Remember, I mean.
No, hang on a second. It was never heroin. All right. I had some standards. But yes, no. Yeah. I mean, look. Obviously, there is the fact, and I think it probably is a fact actually, that some people will claim will use this to help their asylum claim. They will say that they are very much the victims of drug traffickers and that the evidence for that has been the drugs secreted within them, and that they didn't want to do it at all, and that this is why they should be able to stay, I suppose.
I mean, it shows how desperate some people are, isn't it? If you're willing to eat heroin and then get on a small boat to come to Britain, you're not doing it for a jolly. You're not an economic migrant, are you? You really have no other option.
Well, I think they do have not coming.
Well, if you live in an active war zone, it's probably not a huge incentive to stick around.
There's war broken out in France. Oh, my God, I had no idea war was broken out.
No, let's not play this game.
But a lot of the countries that these people are coming from, like Ethiopia, so Hadush Gebrselassie Kibatu, who had been in Britain, a week, and then he sexually assaulted a child, he's already acting, he'd already integrated into BBC culture. He is from Ethiopia, and Ethiopia isn't a war zone, and it's not a particularly, impoverished country either. So I don't understand why somebody can leave a safe country, come through lots and lots of safe countries, and then claim asylum. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah. If you've left a safe country where you're safe and you've come here to claim asylum, your asylum claim should be turned down. That's obvious.
But you just were making the claim that these people were desperate, and that was the reason why they were putting heroin in their bottom.
Well, yes, if you live in Afghanistan or Sudan.
If some of them would have come from
all I'm saying is
places.
I wouldn't eat heroin and get on a boat and cross the channel unless I was really, really desperate. That just feels quite obvious.
Well, I think in the budget we should have had money for a second stamp for our immigration officials that says no instead of the one that just says yes.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they get what's brilliant about this story is that they get VIP crossings. So I don't know whether that's a different section on.
It's probably less bouncy.
Exactly.
Because
when I was on a Greek ferry a few months ago, there was like a club section, which, frankly, I mean, it still needed sick bags and the toilets were foul. So I'm hoping that this is a little bit nicer if you're going to the trouble of putting some heroin in your.
Were there lots of drugs on that cruise as well, Christopher?
not on the Greek ferry
Not
to
on the Greek.
Sifnos.
No.
I don't know. I mean, the state of the toilets, I wouldn't have been surprised, but no.
Well, there we go. Well, there is a world full of other news stories knocking around, which we will endeavour to do. There's a deal to unlock $100 billion quid, actually, for Ukraine within days, which does go hand in hand, it would seem, with another front-page story, which is that Putin is relentlessly subjecting us to cyber attacks. So I'm going to be talking about all of that. Also, I'm going to be telling you why mourning a distant relative could give work-shy Brits even more time off. We're gonna have to get stuck into this because I think this is going to divide some of our viewers and listeners, right? I'm going to phrase it as this for now. Should you get a week off work if your third cousin dies? Maybe, maybe not. That's next.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10. So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m, only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Martin Daubney, weekdays from 3 p.m.
Well, he went to Sandhurst and graduated, and then decided the Paras wanted him, so he decided to go Royal Artillery. And he loved being in the army. He loved the camaraderie, the spirit, everything else. And he had a great career ahead of him. Went to Iraq and Afghanistan, and came back, and everything was fine. We were so relieved as parents. And then the signs started to be there of PTSD. It was quite a while after he came back that they sort of manifested themselves, and everything went downhill after that. And it was a long fight for him to try and get help, but there was no help available. There was no one he could turn to. And in the end, my wife and I, we had to care for him, which was very, very difficult for all of us. And there, you know, he was with us for about 18 months, and then in the end he passed away. He had an enlarged heart. He was struggling very much with PTSD, so he turned to alcohol. But as most veterans do when they have this problem, and in the end he obviously passed away 8 years ago. And we had no help at the time, and we didn't have anybody giving us advice or where we could go. And I was with Nigel. Well, I went to Combat to Coffee a few years ago with Nigel, and we got this. The author of the book, Rob Parker, presented this to us and sent it to me. And everything in here in this book was so true. And with us, it was like a manual for us, or a diary really, of what was happening and what could happen.
GB News, the People's Channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
All right, OK, so we are going to go in with the Daily Telegraph's front page here. Take a week off if your distant cousin dies. Workers will be entitled to a week off to mourn the death of a distant family member, under proposals being considered by ministers. This is the Workers' Rights Bill, which could grant employees a week's leave following the deaths of in-laws, cousins, uncles and nieces, but a death within an employee's, quote, chosen family could apparently also be defined as close friends that are not related but take the place of a traditional family. I'm a bit conflicted about this. Krista, how do you feel?
So if my cousin dies, I could take time off. Am I married to them?
OK. No.
I'm just asking. I don't know whether I am or not. It depends on what part of the country it is that we're talking about.
Did he die from something he caught off you? That's what I'm worried about.
Probably. Look, I think discretion is the way forward on this, and I think that, dare I say this without bursting into flames on a TV debate show, nuance. Because I come from the school that you don't get paid if you don't work. That's why I was on your programme with a bandage on my head and blood coming out of my forehead 6 hours after a hair transplant, because I wouldn't have got paid. And I know how that thrilled you. So I tend to be of the view, sort of dust yourself off and try and work, because you don't get paid. However, it depends on how close you are to that person. The problem is, because it's this government, I have absolutely no doubt they'll make a complete pig's ear out of it. It will be abused completely, and this is about trying to get people not to work for whatever reason, because that seems to be their ideology.
So the expansion of bereavement leave, I'm just reading a bit more on this story now, which is currently only mandatory for the death of a child under 18, is one of several measures planned by this Employment Rights Bill.
That's Hugh Edwards' time off.
By Angela Rayner. Oh, right, now, we've had enough of Hugh now. OK, and I think I'm going to say the phrase, Hugh Edwards is not here to defend himself, which makes me feel a bit ill. But I'm going to say anyway.
Thank God he's not here to defend himself.
Yeah, well, quite. I guarantee that's not the comeback we were talking about earlier on. Now, reading this, I wasn't aware that currently, apparently, bereavement leave is only mandatory for the death of a child under 18. Well, actually, I think that probably does need a bit of reform.
It feels quite archaic, doesn't it, really? I mean, there are many people who you then can't take leave off for if they die, which is, I think it's just...
Well, your wife, I mean, presumably...
Your wife, your husband... So it seems to be a dependent or a child under the age of 18. So your adult child would not be eligible if they died. I mean, look, there is going to be a debate over who exactly do we include, and clearly different relatives are different for different people. You may be very close with your cousin, you may have grown up with them, you may have been raised by your uncle. I think the question, though, is do we need to make it a little bit more generous than it is now? And I think the answer is probably yes.
The Adam Smith Institute have said that the problem is that at a time when businesses can least afford it, you could allow any personal relationship to trigger a statutory leave entitlement, which would make massive uncertainty for fans. So it is going to be firms, rather. So it's going to be the abuse of it that is going to be the problem.
But are people really going to abuse it? I mean, I like to think the best of people. Are you going to say,
Have you worked in the public sector?
Isn't it a bit sick, though, to use the death of a distant relative as a reason to have time off work if you're not close to them?
It's sick to sort of to sort of graft any sort of benefits from the system, but people do it. That's what people do. Trust me, I'm Scottish. What this country is facing is a productivity crisis, and this isn't going to be helped by introducing new rules. This is new bureaucracy, new legislation that has to filter through all the companies, has to be go into all their legal terms and conditions and all the rest of it. So that's a burden in itself. Also, the uncertainty that this will mean companies face will just make them reluctant to hire people. It's death by 1,000 cuts. There's so much regulation, there's so much red tape, there's so much obligation. You can't fire people. It takes so long and it's so expensive to fire people. This is what's stifling.
But the point is,
this is what's stifling innovation and productivity growth in the UK.
Most people have annual leave in their companies. They take off way more than a week every year. That doesn't grind companies to a halt. We have ways of managing it, and I think this is just about showing a bit of compassion to people who are grieving.
If you get
That's an awful period of your life.
People take lots and lots of sick days off. Definitely. I mean, the one time in my life where I was employed and got sick pay, without a doubt, I would feel a bit rough and go, well, yeah, I'll take a day off. And there's the one time in my life, because you go, well, I may as well. Whereas absolutely, I've turned up in death. I've given illnesses to you that you didn't even know existed.
You gave
before.
an illness that I then passed on to my infant son.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
seriously,
that's lovely.
he did. No, he did.
And that's because I will turn up. Because
and then I got a load of stick for it online as well.
By the way, I love as well in this story as well. What they'll do is they'll get you a sympathy card, all of your work, and then in that sympathy card will be a letter reminding you of the union that you can join as well as part of this bill. I
suppose the thing is, if people are allowed an amount of sick days and then an amount of annual leave and then an amount of obviously bereavement, I would have thought that for the people who are just wanting to game that, and there will probably be some people who will, you almost have to write off any, because look, employers aren't thick. So they will know who is always maxing out their sick leave, who has had 3 grandparents who died in the last year, and then who's taking the maximum.
Who's got a bad back?
Then they're not going to end up really first in line for promotion, are they? So I suppose it would if you have got some ambition about you, you probably wouldn't be deliberately maxing out any kind of work benefit.
But you're presuming there's anyone left in the country who has any ambition about them.
This is the thing. What's the point of having ambition if you're just going to be taxed to death if you make it anywhere?
So I think this is a great idea, actually, because can we bring it in here? I definitely get paid if I don't. If someone.
No, we can't. We can't. I can't guarantee that you'd be paid tonight, mate. We're just going to have to leave that there. Coming up, apparently a teacher has been banned for telling a Muslim child that Britain is still a Christian country. Also, bad news for pensioners, and the police have a new way of stopping your phone being nicked. So, hey...
Good evening. Welcome to your latest weather update from the Met Office here on GB News. For the next 24 to 36 hours, Storm Bram is likely to cause some problems. We have warnings in place for both wind and heavy rainfall. The storm system still down to the southwest. It's been intensifying all through the day, and the rain already setting in across the southwest of England, spreading up into parts of Wales. We've had a lot of rain here recently, so this extra rainfall, we could see 100 millimetres more rain falling over the hills, is likely to cause some problems, potential for some flooding. Warnings extending further north as the rain pushes further north. Most areas turning wet by morning time. Going to be a pretty warm night across the south and increasingly windy. So warnings in place for Tuesday for both wind and rain as this weather system steadily pushes northwards. The rain may actually start to ease across some parts of the south, but further heavy pulses over the hills of southwest England and South Wales likely to cause further issues. An awful lot of rain falling over northern England, southern Scotland for that morning rush hour. So that is likely to cause a lot of spray, a lot of surface water. And then the winds really start to strengthen. I mean, they'll pick up tonight around the coast of Wales and southwest England, but strengthening further during Tuesday. You can see the swirl, that's the low pressure, that is Storm Bram, bringing particularly gusty winds through Tuesday afternoon over Northern Ireland and then strengthening into the evening over western parts of Scotland. We'll see something a bit drier developing over parts of England and Wales, maybe even some sunny spells, and the temperatures up into 15, 16 degrees, but obviously not feeling all that mild with the rain and those winds, which probably peak in the northwest of Scotland during Tuesday evening. That's why we've got an amber warning in place here. Damaging gusts of wind 70, 80, perhaps 90 miles an hour, likely to cause some disruption. The potential for power issues, strong winds across much of northern Britain through Tuesday evening as well. For the full details of all of those weather warnings, visit the Met Office website.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters. Real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up?
About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
All right, welcome back to Late Edition. So you're looking at the front page of the Metro there, and this is Tour de Force. So it's a new tactic on show, as apparently police officers are now going to use powerful e-bikes on city streets to race and take down gangs on similar 60-mile-an-hour vehicles who snatch bags, watches and phones from victims. So, yeah, I mean, this seems like, I don't know, at face value to me, until one of the police officers inevitably gets sued for knocking someone over on a 60-mile-an-hour electric bike on a back alley somewhere in London. This seems like quite a good idea. You know, phone thefts are massively up. You've got, you know, obviously the kind of usual shoplifting and theft. I mean, this, especially around Christmas as well, which we are, it seems like a good idea. I mean, Sebastian, you're a counsellor.
Yeah, so I spend a lot of time speaking to the police about this, and most of the time it's saying, what have you done about phone snatching? Residents always writing to me about this, and fair enough, it's been a huge problem in London. And the thing they've told me is, look, we can't chase them in cars, we can't chase them on motorbikes, it's just not safe. We need this kind of thing. And, you know, when we were talking about this last year, this seemed like a bit of a pipe dream, and it seems like now these are coming through. I mean, they can't be cheap, but clearly it's what it takes to solve the problem. I think they've been in use for a bit over the last few months, and it seems like they're working.
I think it's a visible deterrent as well.
Can we have, you know how Hamas or Hezbollah were given those pagers that blew up and blew their genitals off, that a lot of left-wing people are upset about? Can we do the same thing with phone thieves? Give them exploding Nokia bricks?
Well, the problem is that you don't know which phone they're going to steal, right? So for example, that might involve you having an exploding phone, and then it goes off in your own pocket.
No, because I'd tie the pin to a grenade.
Oh, I see.
Run away from me, the pin gets pulled out. And
like a grenade.
The arm gets blown off at the shoulder.
The Apple grenade. You see, it's one of these things, they'll play this clip back in 20 years' time and you'll be seen as a visionary.
Yeah.
But now...
Steve Jobs.
Now it sounds mental.
Yeah,
you know,
the next sort of generation of phones.
Yeah. Well, it's a bold move. So officers are also searching for riders on e-bikes, either electronically boosted to beat the 15.5-mile-an-hour speed limit or bought specifically online to flout laws. Yeah, so apparently also, it's not just things like phone theft. Apparently in one of these things that they got a bloke on suspicion of committing a sexual offence as well. So, you know, you could shout in the street like so-and-so, oh, look, he's just done this, and off they go, the police on the e-bikes, Christo. Yeah? No?
Oh, sorry, I thought I was at Keir Starmer's speech. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I got a little bit gone. I went into myself. Yeah, I can't believe, by the way, that there are any people on e-bikes left who only do 15 miles an hour. None of them only do 15 miles an hour. Every single one of them goes up to 60 miles an hour now. I would burn every single e-bike. I would take every single line bike, every single forest bike. I would put them in a pile. I would use it to heat pensioners. I would literally put them in the middle of Leicester Square and I would set fire to all of them. I wouldn't have exploding phones. I would let the e-bikes explode that all of these people are on. I loathe e-bikes. How? I understand the deterrent, and I think it's a nice idea that they're going to have a deterrent. Nice if they had a deterrent to things like burglaries and, you know, other crimes.
You'd explode in houses.
It's stuff. Let's blow up the houses. I blow up everything. But the thing that's worrying about this is that I am diving out of the way of people on bikes right, left and centre as it is. My poor dogs, I have to pull them right, left and centre on their leads. How are police officers doing the same thing on the pavement going to help me not get killed?
Well, the argument against that, I suppose, Christo, would be if the criminals are doing it, and currently we have no way of stopping the criminals.
Let's double the number of people doing it by having the police chasing.
Well, some of those people are police, aren't they?
Well, then...
so, like...
No, I don't like it.
You just hate bikes.
Have you ever been on an e-bike? Have you tried a line bike?
No, I ride a normal bicycle and I do things like stop at red lights and
oh, you'd love a line, they're fantastic.
And I'm not an absolute moron. I don't need a cycle lane because I don't decide that on every single corner I'm going to throw myself off my bike under the wheels of a lorry turning left because I'm not an idiot. So from that perspective, I have a normal bike. But no, I loathe line bikes.
Really? But have you tried them?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you must.
Why
You must. Oh, they're fantastic. The acceleration, you're off.
Yes,
into the night.
And that's why they have made it absolutely horrific for every single pedestrian. Anyone who uses a pedestrian crossing, there's no point. I mean, because the red lights or whatever colour the light might be is just ignored completely. Don't you agree that that's what happens with line bikes?
I genuinely don't see that.
You don't see...
No, I really don't.
Sorry, right, okay.
I really don't.
Do you walk around in a blindfold? You do not see people on line bikes?
I see people on line bikes, but...
Going through red lights?
I don't know. I've not paid attention to what lights they're watching, but they certainly aren't crashing into me.
You've not been at a pedestrian crossing where someone on an electric bike, either a line bike or a forest bike or a normal electric bike, has gone through on red while you're crossing? Because if you're saying that, I don't think I believe you.
I mean, I live right by a crossing. I'm trying to think now. It's not a daily blight.
To me, it happens every single day.
Wow.
And that's aside from the times that I have to clamber over them because they're piled up over the pavement because people just decide that they're just going to dump them wherever. They just get off them, dump them on the floor, walk off. You know, if you've got a pushchair, if you've got a trolley, if you've got anything else on the pavement, we can't get past because there's a line bike there, or there's a forest bike there, or there's some other kind of obstruction there. What is the point? What's the point in being a pedestrian? What's the point in trying to walk anywhere? What is the point? What is the point? What's the point in owning a phone because it'll get nicked off you anyway? What's the point in any of this stuff?
You all right?
I'm just saying, I'm very passionate about this.
Yeah.
We gather.
Yeah. I actually don't know how to ride a bike.
Do you not?
Leave that there. No.
Can you swim?
Yeah, thank you. I'm not complete. Yeah. No, I can't.
These two sometimes go hand in hand.
No, I can swim, and it's because where I grew up, there wasn't really. Like roads that I could ride a bike on.
Roads where you grew up?
No, there was a big fields and we had a patio. It weren't all my fields, by the way. Before someone accused me of being part of the landed gentry, right? No, but I learnt to roll. I rollerbladed.
What? That's the gayest.
Did you grow up? Did you grow up in Did you grow up in a 1980s athletics video?
I used to play roller hockey a lot. I was because we couldn't play ice hockey.
Grassy Junior High?
No. But I was just always rubbish about it. What happened was then I learnt a bit, and then I went on a family holiday and I had a catastrophic fall on a bike, and I got bike phobia.
Right.
Yeah. So I just never.
Biphobia.
Bike phobia,
right.
So I got bike phobia. So the idea of me getting on a line bike around London, I would kill myself and others.
But that's fine. That's the prerequisite of getting on a line bike.
Oh,
that's the only way you're
I'd go through a red light, but only because I couldn't figure out how to stop it. That would be the thing. But anyway.
And they are an absolute. They completely every single time you cross a crossing in London, then you end up in a situation where they are going through the red light. There is absolutely no. I mean, you see the green man, and it's a suggestion. But, and elderly people like with push chairs. I mean, are you with me here, Leo? Come on, Leo. Where are you?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I find the scooters annoying.
The scooters don't even.
Oh, they're brilliant. Love a lime scooter.
And they go at about 70 miles an hour. They are like, what's happened?
I just think they shouldn't be on the pavements.
They should be on the pavements.
No, that's fair.
They should be on the roads. And as well, people with their own ones, and they're dressed in black from head to toe. They're in a hood. They've got no lights whatsoever. And then me as the driver, I'm supposed to have eyes in the back of my head.
Can we just fade his mic down?
If I hit them, it's my fault. I'm the one to blame.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
OK, right. When we come back, a teacher has apparently been banned from teaching for telling a Muslim child that this is a Christian country. But is there more to the story than meets the eye?
I forecast a perfect holiday in the sun.
Weather looking good then?
For sure, and no worries about our travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
The unsettled conditions arriving across the UK tomorrow will also be influencing other western areas of the Mediterranean. In fact, the rain band will extend all the way down into parts of northwestern Spain, Portugal and Madeira. Central areas of the Mediterranean, though, faring off best with some fairly decent fine and calm conditions, but we do have further showers across the far east, particularly around areas of Cyprus. For many areas, though, the week ahead does look generally dry and sunny.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
From the GB newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
In fact, has Trump made a good start? No.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight-talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. So, yeah, just to return to the Daily Telegraph's front page, because they obviously usually have a basket of different stories on there. A teacher was banned from working with children after telling a Muslim child that Britain is still a Christian state. That's according to the Daily Telegraph. The primary school teacher was referred to his local child protection board over comments made to the pupil at a school in London. There was also a senior detective from the Met Police's child abuse investigation team that was involved. The case intensified concern amongst people who are concerned about free speech. Supposedly, from what we know, it centres around some Muslim pupils who were washing their feet in the sink, presumably in advance of a prayer. It's like a pre-prayer ritual, I suppose you could say. Apparently, he said that there is a Muslim school down the road, words to the effect of, you know, England is still a Christian country. That kind of stuff. So that's the allegation. He is fighting it. Leo, your views on this?
Yeah, I mean, I really want these Muslim pupils to be able to practice their traditional rituals, and I just wish there was a Muslim country they could do it in. Oh wait, there's loads of Muslim countries. There's like what, 52, 56 Muslim countries, and a lot of those Muslim countries have completely eradicated Christianity from them. So it's gonna happen here at some point. The way demographics are going, I think it shouldn't be illegal or wrong to say that Britain's a Christian country. Britain should be a Christian country. I wish it still was. And I say that as a recovering atheist. It's an absolute nonsense that people like this and people like Jamie Michael, the Royal Marine who spoke out against mass immigration, Jamie Michael is speaking out to protect children, and he's been banned from working with children for protecting children.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's been banned, I believe, from coaching his own daughter's football team, which does seem a little bit nuts. Sebastian, your views on this teacher story?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the outcome is a bit heavy-handed, but it also doesn't sound like he talks to the pupils terribly nicely, saying there's a Islamic school down the road you can go to if you want to. We've got to remember this is a primary school. These children, we don't know how old they were, it could be anywhere between 4 and 11. So I think maybe just have a little bit of grace for them. We've all done silly things in primary school. We've all done things we shouldn't have. We've all not followed the rules at times. And, yeah, maybe a little bit more lenient.
I suppose the issue would be, Christo, is if this is some kind of lifetime ban for teaching for it. I mean, does the punishment fit the so-called crime?
Well, perhaps he can go into hiding with the Batley school teacher, and you know, there can be a nice little club of school teachers that have offended everyone. I don't even wash my own feet in my sink. I mean, I don't think that that's like wrong to say. It does sound like he was not the most tactful. I mean, I will say that if it was like, look, if you want to do that, there's an Islamic school down the road. Maybe that's not showing the most amount of tact. But if he's saying, look, I don't think it's appropriate that you're washing your feet in the sink that people have got to wash their hands in, and that this is a Christian school because we're a Christian country.
It was actually, yeah, but it's a non-religious school, yeah.
But we are a Christian country. Well, that's a fact, isn't it? Aren't you allowed to say facts? Perhaps, again, in a slightly more subtle way, and perhaps he needs a little slap on the wrist.
I mean, I think
the idea the police would turn up. Were they on electric bikes?
No, probably not. But that is the other aspect too. I mean, the Metropolitan Police's child abuse investigation team also became involved.
Child abuse investigation team?
I mean, it doesn't say how far that investigation went on, but I suppose just the fact that they were
So somewhere where did this happen?
London.
London. So somewhere in London there are children being abused that don't have the police investigating, but the police will investigate a teacher stating that we're a Christian country. I mean, a genuine child abuse team of the Met Police, that is ridiculous.
I'm just amazed they found a Christian in London.
I mean, it does seem a bit heavy-handed, as we've said, doesn't it? Really, I think
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can say, look, I don't think his superiors can say, I don't think you handled that in the best way. That is fair. The police turning up is absurd.
All right. Well, look, the teacher involved in this is obviously appealing it. He's got lawyers, so no doubt we'll be hearing more about it. And just to round us off, we've only got a couple of minutes left, but might as well do what's on the front of the eye paper, if that's all right, because pension pot hit will delay UK retirement age. Experts warn. The detail on this. Rachel Reeves' tax raid on savers risks disincentivising workers to put money into their pension pots and forcing them to wait longer for retirement. This is according to experts. Policies such as capping the pension salary sacrifice schemes and slashing the tax-free limit for cash ISAs will worsen the issue of Britain's under-saving for retirement. Yeah, I mean, does retirement feel like a realistic option for anyone here?
I've got to be honest, if you're relying on the state for your pension, that is, the state, will it even exist by the time you retire? I've seen Labour politicians this week salivating over taking UK pension pots and putting regulations and rules on them that they have to invest in things that Labour ministers want. Pension pots should be run exclusively to grow the pot as much as possible for people's pensions. The idea that there's some slush fund for communist ideology is nonsense.
There is another side to this. I don't know if you're going to make this point, Sebastian, but I mean, we do have an ageing population, which presumably means people potentially might be able to work longer. Do you think the idea of retiring at, like, I don't know, whatever it is now, 66 or 70 or whatever it is a bit of a pipe dream?
It does feel like that a bit, and especially because the generation that are retiring now are so big. There are going to be so many more people who need to be in the workforce to fund that pension. And then when our generation comes to retire, we're not having enough children because we can't afford it as a generation. Who's going to pay for us? So there was a real concern about who's going to fund our retirements. But what I would say about pensions, the beauty of it is choice. You can put your money in a private pension. You can say, make me as much money as possible, or you can say, let's only invest in clean energy, and that's up to you. So I think it's a good thing. We should keep it like that.
But what's the point? What's the point? That I just can't get over the fact we have an economy that doesn't incentivise you in any way, shape or form. If you're putting money into a private pension and thereby taking the strain off the state when you are a pensioner, you should be applauded. The state should be right behind you. They shouldn't.
But you're massively rewarded.
You
get bonus if you put your money into your pension.
But they're taking away that bonus.
A bit of the bonus.
Quite a lot of the bonus.
A bit
and
of
that's
the
why,
bonus.
That's why experts are saying, what is the point in saving for your retirement? When in actual fact, the state should be saying, we'll match it, we'll give you a tax break, we will make it better for you because you will be taking the burden off us when you are older. They don't do that anymore because we live in a communist hellhole.
OK. On that bombshell, let me just round off the papers for Tuesday. We've got the Daily Telegraph, boat migrants smuggle in heroin, Metro, cops v criminals in e-bike pursuit, tour de force, The Independent, Britain under attack from Putin's cyber army, The Times, deal to unlock 100 billion quid for Ukraine within days, The Express, leave no stone unturned for the grooming gangs probe, The Guardian, a critical moment, European leaders rally behind Ukraine, The Mirror, Southport families, courage, together we'll pull light out of darkness. The last one that I'm going to do here is The Sun, England star in headbutt arrest, Ivan Toney held after 1 a.m. club brawl. Ivan Toney's not here to defend himself, it sounds like an active case, we'll leave it there. Now I'm going to finish tonight by saying thank you very much for watching and listening. I would also like to wish a happy birthday to Christo Foufas.
Oh, what a surprise! I had no idea you were
whose birthday is in 5 minutes, and as it turns out, Sebastian Salek, birthday is also in 5 minutes' time.
What a coincidence.
Happy birthday, gentlemen. Leo, well done on everything as well. Take care. It's over to the Late Show Live. We've both heard it.
Thank you, Patrick. Happy birthday from me, Christos, as well. Right, we're talking about farmers tonight. While Starmer's own report reveals that the inheritance tax is affecting British farmers, we've got American farmers being given billions of dollars of support from the US. That and a whole lot more.
We want to make the new year your best year yet, with a chance to win our greatest cash prize to date. A simply stunning £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours. Treat the family to that bucket list holiday you've always fancied. Get your dream car you've always wanted. Or just relax, safe in the knowledge that the coming year is on us. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Westminster's full of talk, but out here, it's the real world.
Am I allowed to talk then?
No, that's it. This is where it matters, real people and real lives. That's what politics is all about.
The fact is Trump made a good start, no.
Straight answers, no spin, and just a couple of pints.
How many fingers have I got up? About 10.
So join me for Lee Anderson's Real World every Friday at 7 p.m. only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's political podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's political podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're